Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favors us thy servants whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful a manner, to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our church. Amen.
There is communication from the chair.
Good morning, honorable members of the National Assembly, honorable ministers. Honorable members, it is for the information of this assembly that the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, as part of his ongoing visit to government projects and construction sites, will be visiting the National Assembly premises today to inspect the works at the mausoleum of the late former President, Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, which is housed here in the building. It is for the information of all honorable members of this august assembly. Thank you very much. Clerk.
Correction and approval of records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 13 December 2022.
No, it's okay. Where is this thing? Honorable members, honorable members, the records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 13 December 2022 is before us for correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move a motion for correction and approval of the said record of votes and proceedings? The member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move a motion for the correction and approval of record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 13 December 2022 with amendment.
Any seconder? The member for Opanyomi.
Honorable Speaker, thank you so much. I rise to second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 13 December 2022 be approved. Any issues or observation from honorable members, if there are any, may do so by raise of constituency tag. We may start with the records by page, and we go to page 1. We start with page 1. If any member who have any observation or correction may do so by so of raising your constituency tag. We are on page 1. In the absence of any observation on page 1, can we move to page 2? Page 2. Can we now move to page 3? Yes, member for Woolly is on page 3.
Page 3, under correction, the first paragraph, I saw Honourable Mfali M. Kora for Upper Florida West. Is that correct? I thought it's Tumana. Huh? Tumana?
Yeah, on page 3, that's corrections and approval of records. The Honourable Fali M. Kora, I think it should be Honourable Bakari Kora, the member for Upper Fuladu West. Yes, Bakari Kora, not Fali. It was moved by the member for Upper Fuladu West. Thank you. Any further observation and correction on page 3? Can we move to page 4? Page 5. Yes, member for Upper Salum.
Yes, thank you, Honourable Speaker. I think we've also, before you put the question, I think we've agreed after the debate that FPAC comes up with a resolution to be presented next week. I think we have to capture it somewhere, or when the question was put, like that the report of the Finance and Public Accounts on the audited report of government COVID-19 response be adopted with amendment, including coming out with a resolution to be presented by FPAC next week. You can capture it either way, either before or after during the question, either way. But it has to be.
Honourable member, you know, during the debate, there was this suggestion, and then that you will come back to Parliament next week, and then I think it can come on next week, because it was during the debate that some members. But what is approved is the report, and that you will come up with a resolution next week. I don't think it's...
Yes, actually, Honourable Speaker, I think it was agreed. And I think what I'm saying is like we need to capture it on the report that the members agreed to, for the FPAC to come up with a resolution to be presented next week. I think we need to capture that somewhere. This is an agreement among all of us.
Yeah. Noted. Honourable member for Lower Salum.
Yes, thank you, Honourable Speaker. Again, there was a suggestion by the member for Kiang, because, you know, this is phase 1 of the report. And
Honourable, come again. What's your point?
I said there was a suggestion by the honourable member for Kiang East that the report that was laid by the FPAC was phase 1, and they are coming with phase 2 again. Why not we wait for that resolution to bring the entire report to come together, then we make our resolutions?
Yeah, that's up to them. You know, the resolutions, they can bring it anytime to FPAC. Yeah, thank you. Member for Bundunga Kunda.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Under the list of names, my name is Suleiman Jammeh instead of Suleiman Saho, please.
We have number 11. We have Suleiman Saho and Suleiman. This is Suleiman Jammeh. Yeah, Bundunga Kunda is Suleiman Jammeh. I am not. And in fact, when you yes, on number 11 should be Suleiman Jammeh, not Suleiman Saho. Joshua, the member for Joshua.
Yeah, thank you very much, Speaker, Honourable Speaker. I think the error should have been on the the consequences for say Bundunka Kunda. Because Suleiman Sah also participated in the debate. He took part in the debate, and his name is not here.
Thank you. Honourable Saho, Suleiman Saho, Honourable Member for Central Badibu, seconded the motion. Can you please turn off your mic? Yeah. He seconded the motion and he's captured on page 4. Page 4. Honourable Suleiman Saho, Member for Central Badibu, seconded the motion and took part in the debate. This is, number 11 should be the member for Bundunka Kunda. Suleiman Chame, not Saho. Order observation and a correction on page 5. Honourable members, it has been moved and seconded that the records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 13 December 2022 be approved.
With amendments.
Be approved with amendment. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk? Yes, debate.
Questions for oral answer.
Honourable members, in accordance with Order 14.3 of the Standing Orders, I will vary the order of business in the order paper to start with the Honourable Minister for Lands and Regional Government. Thank you.
Questions for oral answer by the Honourable Minister for Lands and Regional Government.
Honourable members, as per the order paper and Order 41.1 of the Standing Orders, today's questions for oral answers. Furthermore, as a reminder, Clause 43 of the Standing Orders limited supplementary questions to 7 in total, 2 for the Honourable Member asking the question and 5 among other members. Therefore, we will proceed with the Honourable Minister's schedule for today to give their oral answers. Thank you. Clerk.
Questions for oral answer by the Honourable Minister for Lands and Regional Government. Yes.
Thank you. Questions for which due notices were given to the Honourable Minister for Lands and Regional Government by Honourable members for oral reply. Question number 0237 of 2022 by the member for Talinding Kujang.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, one Pabulai Ture constructed a building at the riverside of Talinding Kunjang, and the community complained to the Department of Physical Planning on the unsuitability of the structure. The National Environment Agency, Department of Parks and Wildlife, National Disaster Management Agency, and the Department of Physical Planning all advised against construction on the said site. Could the Honourable Minister for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs inform this August Assembly why the construction was not stopped but allowed to complete?
Point of order, Honourable Speaker. Point of order.
Yes, please, nominated member Fatou Kejawa.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. I'm rising on point order 29, content of speech. 29.2. Reference shall not be made to any matter in respect of which legal proceedings are active in such a way as might, in the opinion of the Speaker or Chairperson, prejudice the interests of the parties thereafter. Honourable Speaker, this is a case between Pa Ablai and some natives of Talinding, and the matter is taken to police and they are about to settle it at our own disposal. But yes, still, you cannot observe, allow me to learn. You cannot observe, allow me to learn. Allow me to learn.
Please,
this matter is already in the hand
Honourable
of the police.
Honourable members, she's rising on point of order. Let's allow her to finish. If you have any, yes, go ahead, please.
This is a land dispute between the people of some members of Talinding and this Pa Ablai. And arrest and detention were made, and we came to an extent of settling it at our own level, but yet still nothing has came out of it, because the parties concerned didn't turn up. So there is a proceeding going on at the police station. I don't think we should entertain any question on it.
Honourable nominated member Fatou Kejawara, can you be clear and guide this assembly? Is the matter before, can you please switch off your mic and sit down?
Honourable Speaker, I say this matter...
Please switch off your mic and sit down. Is the matter before court or at the police level?
The matter is about to proceed to the court, but through my intervention, and I asked them to come to our aid so that we can have a discussion between the elders of Talinding and Pa Ablai. But the one side of the parties didn't turn up.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister, the matter is not before the court, so your order is ruled out. Honourable Minister, proceed and answer.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and good morning to Honourable members as well, and Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the construction was stopped by the Department of Physical Planning and Housing sometime in 2020, when the matter was brought to their attention. At that time, the construction was already at the slab level. I think slab here means the lintel level. As stated by the Honourable Member, a stakeholder visit or site visit indicated that the site is within the wetland and hence not suitable for any form of construction. The department further sought and received legal advice from the Ministry of Justice that the structure should be demolished. Unfortunately, the Department of Physical Planning and Housing failed to execute the department's mandate as well as the legal advice.
I remember any... Honourable Member, you have something.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
It's done. Huh?
No, you told me.
Honourable Member Folate Kunda, sit down.
So,
Honourable Member, you have not been recognized. Please,
yes,
the member for Talinding Kundai.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. I want to please thank the Honourable Minister for that very clear and precise response. Now that the Department of Physical Planning floated with that advice to fail to demolish, would you say under your leadership, this demolition order will be executed?
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Speaker, it's a very complex situation we find ourselves in, and not only the ministry, but as a society at large. It's a real complex situation. First, the environment, this particular environment, the structure is up, but we've realized that it's also several other structures of the same type within the same jurisdiction. That's point number one. Point number two, there are different parties involved in this within the same community and the same society. Some are supporting the construction because a lot of people have been employed. There is a lot of benefits for the community, vis-a-vis. But others are also against because one is in a wetland, two, it has also encroached into the privilege of other people or women, and so many other factors. So it's now going to be a catch-22 situation. But notwithstanding the matter, we, as a department, will go up in our own house to discuss and be able to advise appropriately what stand we can take. You see, demolition in its sense as a term is very simple in our way to think about executing it. But again, there are several consequences of it that we need to put into account. One, the demolition we are going to make, what benefit do we get as a people, as a society, or as a country? Two, what impact does it have on the society? Three, what reputations does it create, even for those people who are even against? What type of situation will it leave the people within the same community? Some are in for it, some are against it, have already been in the same community over the period. So it's like, am I to stop or am I to continue? Because I'm seeing members waving.
No, he is raising his hand to be recorded.
Oh, all right, sir. Honourable Speaker, that's it. That's the scenario anyway.
Honourable Minister, proceed. You have only 2 minutes to respond to supplementary questions.
Sorry, please?
2 minutes only, yes.
All right, then I've just seen that, because that is definitely a brief I want to give for us to understand the nitty-gritty involved in demolition. We cannot go against demolition because it is not a privilege. It is a right for the ministry and the physical planning to demolish without documentations, encroachments, etc., etc. So definitely it's not a problem to do so.
Honourable member, honourable member?
Yes, I understand the Honourable Minister inherited a very complex situation. But in the beginning, we all understood the power play that was underway. And then the fact is not about who should be affected. It has to do with abiding by the rules and regulations that the state puts in place. We've seen demolitions going on in other places. So the issue is for us, it's not complex. It has to, there are, the people of the residents of that area are prone to disaster. If you look at the disaster victims of Tallinn this year has risen.
Honourable.
So,
honourable member, please, your supplementary question.
Yes. He said you are going to look at how soon you said you'll go and you look at ways to implement this day, because we are not saying only Babula, even everybody that is along that line, if they have to be demarcated, they have to be demarcated. That's the law.
Honourable Speaker,
so how soon will we see that action?
Yes. Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Member is exceeding his time limit, which is 1 minute, to ask a supplementary question.
Honourable Minister, please respond.
Speaker, he is not they are not the Speaker.
Yes, thank you, Honourable Member. You're right. But to give a definitive time to the execution of such things is not going to be an easy thing. But I can assure you that action should be taken towards it, because we will not want to encourage anything that will be of detriment to the society. So be rest assured with that. Thank you.
Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, in your response, I understand that physical planning gave orders for the construction to be stopped. And according to the main question, the construction is being completed. Why was it stopped when the instruction was given?
Honourable Member, that's a very complex question, because I will just relate it to human behavior and human attitude. This is an instruction given by the Department of Physical Planning, and they have served a notice to the person to stop the construction. If he fails to stop and complete the construction, this is why they said they went to the judiciary to advise them again, and they advised that it should be demolished. And I concluded by saying that the department failed to execute its mandate as well as the legal advice. But we'll look into the matter.
Thank you. Minority Leader and Member for Brikama North.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister rightly indicated that the fiscal planning failed to execute both the legal advice and its own mandate to ensure that the execution of the instruction to demolish was adhered to. I believe fiscal planning is under your ministry. What further action have you taken against your own department, that's fiscal planning, for having failed to execute its mandate?
Honourable Member, the office is discussing to see, hence the questions came up right now. We will be discussing how to put up strategies to mitigate that side of the problem. And we've been constantly discussing and talking about that since we've experienced several floods and several reactions of community and society towards several actions and activities of the department.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Member for Latikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, we are dealing with rights here. Two rights, rights of Mr. Toure and the rights of the Talinding community. I want to establish whether Mr. Toure got construction or building permit prior to construction. But I've seen instances where physical planning will give building or construction permit, then later they reverse their decision. Whether that's the case here. Thank you.
I'm not sure he has any permit to do the constructions. And that is several other people are talking or doing the same thing, acting the same thing, and we've been trying to popularize that over the period. But again, we are going to investigate, and I believe he doesn't have. That's why we said they have their mandate to demolish and also a mandate to qualify their demolition, and it's not done.
Thank you. Member for Lower Salom.
No, I am fine.
Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, I heard the Honourable Minister saying that, there were notices being served to the individual who is responsible. And then he's taking the blame by blaming the physical planning that they didn't do their responsibility. Honourable Minister, many notices are sent. They are normally sent with conditions. Hope those conditions were properly followed by the said Mr. Toure. Thank you.
Mr. Toure, if the notice of stoppage and demolition, in fact, it's the notice of stop work that has been sent. So either Mr. Toure adheres to it or not adheres to it, the physical planning have a mandate and a right to demolish if you are building any structure without a permit. Point number one, they also have several rights also, but not only demolition is their complete mandate. They also have a mandate and a right to go investigate, negotiate, and come up with something that is tangible and useful to the community. Don't only come because it should be demolished, they demolish. No. They also have to find out better ways, and if there is no other way only to demolish, then they will go ahead and demolish. Whether Mr. Toure adheres or doesn't adhere, that's not our problem. Our problem is to investigate and see how right or wrong would it be to do this. And if we find it is apt enough, we will go ahead with it.
Nominated member Fatou Kejawara.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Part of my concern has been addressed, but I want to ask, what are the caliber of people that are qualified to do this demolition? It is physical planning or the community?
If the community involved is illegal, the physical planning is the only institution that has the mandate to demolish.
Thank you. Question number 0238-2022 by the member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs tell this August Assembly whether the Ministry would collaborate with the Banjul City Council to put up mechanisms in place to avoid the massive construction of stores within the residential zone of the city?
Minister.
Honourable Speaker, in the first quarter of 2021, the Department of Physical Planning and Housing, in collaboration with Banjul City Council, BCC, started a study with a view to zone Banjul into commercial, residential, and mixed-use zones. This study is still ongoing, but delayed by financial constraints, and we urge Banjul City Council to be more collaborating than acting in isolation.
Honourable Member.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. In that regards, is the Ministry willing or ready to put up moratorium as far as store constructions are concerned in the city? If yes, when? If no, why not?
Honourable Speaker, I don't understand. Moratorium in what sense?
For the erection of stores within the residential zone in the city of Banjul, because we have seen construction of stores within the residential zone.
Now, Honourable Member, you're right. Actually, the zoning process is on, and even this morning we've been talking about this zoning issue. But what I want to express here is anybody who is constructing anywhere need to have an approval from the Physical Planning and Lands Department to get a permit to do the construction. During the issuance of this is when they know how apt or inapt your construction is supposed to take place. And they advise appropriately after all.
Thank you. Member for Latikunda Sabeji.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, this is a National Assembly. Can you please tell us why your ministry is in a very serious, tough relationship with all the councils until you are threatening them of appointing governors?
Point of order. Order.
Speaker, this is
point of order.
This question is very related to.
Speaker, do I have a right to answer?
Point of order.
Point of order.
So please, Honourable, your question is ruled out.
No, it's related.
Member for Brikama North and Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, if I get you right, trying to imply that you are reviewing or studying the zoning of Banjul, if that is the case, can you inform this August Assembly as if already we do have the zoning system of Banjul? What is the zoning system of Banjul that you are trying to review, if at all there exists the zoning system?
Honourable Member, Honourable Speaker, Banjul has already been zoned from colonial times to today. But the population has been booming over the period, commercial activities booming, residential, everything has been, over the period increased over time. So because of those reasons, zoning is a process that is ongoing as we move on. Sometimes people will settle in this area, and then at long range, you discover that definitely there is a conflict between the settlement or residence and the commercial or industrial. Then you decide to move one party. Now, this is the process we are in Banjul. Banjul is going to be continuously zoned, continuously. In fact, it's not going to be limited. It's going to be continuously, because when we look at the settlement pattern in Banjul, population distribution in Banjul, the housing pattern like industrial, commercial, and other mixed uses in Banjul is erratic. It's not consistent in any form. But all this is dependent, as you said, to the applications of permits in order for them to construct. That will be very, very strict on in the next coming months.
Thank you. Member for Wool East.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, we are dealing with very serious matters relating to land and the authority of the state. If we have established institutions, Honourable Speaker, the institutions should be respected. Honourable Minister, what can you do to expedite the process to ensure that this proliferation of stores in residential areas is stopped?
Honourable Member, I may not advise that it's going to be stopped. It can be controlled, but stoppage could be a different language, absolutely. Because, personalities in their personal homes coming to establish stores as annexed to their compounds or within their compounds will be very difficult to control. But again, as I've said, the Department of Physical Planning is very stringent on this. And as I've said, we are looking keenly into this abuse of settlements and so on. So we will be strict on it. Controlling and stopping could be another way, but we will do our utmost best to make sure we control this, because we are now getting more focus on town planning, on country planning, city planning, than the land management and all those components of it. Those will be taxable ends, but we are trying to get more focus on these planning issues than the other aspects of our mandate.
Member for Opanyomi.
Honourable Speaker, I withdraw. My concern has been addressed by the Minister.
Member for Fonyi Councillor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, I want to ask this. The Department of Lands, do they have any guided laws as per the current happenings which will make the process well established in terms of punishing or using acts in point of laws?
Yes, they do. They have regulations, and they are putting it to its maximal performance. Sometimes the silence of these things can be caused by societal demand, but as we move on, these things will definitely be acted upon because the demand is getting higher for regulations to be put in place.
Thank you. Question number 0239, 2022, by the member for Lower Salem.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Matters undertake the work with the relevant stakeholders to mitigate the current misunderstanding between the two Islamic bodies, the Supreme Islamic Councils and the Rajul Majalis in the country?
Honourable Speaker, I want to inform this August Assembly that the Supreme Islamic Council is not a parallel body or parallel institution to the Rabatul Majalis. Instead, the Supreme Islamic Council is the body that comprises various registered Islamic organizations. It is the body that is recognized by government, and it represents, by government as a matter of fact, and it acts as an interface between the government and the Islamic fraternity. Rabatul Majalis has an option, either to join the Supreme Islamic Council as a registered Islamic organization, is their will and option, but we cannot take them in comparison in any way. We cannot negotiate between the factions. We only have to regulate the Majalis, Rabatul Majalis, in their actions towards or contempt towards the Supreme Islamic Council as a body. However, it is important to note that Rabatul Majalis cannot and should not be called or call themselves Supreme Islamic Council or elect or select members to represent the Supreme Council organogram in any form. Honourable Speaker, thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, these two brothers, we have been seeing misunderstanding between themselves. As a minister, did you bring them together, whereby to see they are all in one umbrella, whereby we can maintain peace in the country? Did you?
Honourable Minister.
Yes, the answer would have been yes or no, but I would want to expand on it a little. But no, I have not. But they have been ever brought together by the ministry. The permanent secretary and the previous minister did so, and they told them each of them were on their limits.
Honourable?
It's a bit complicated, all right, it's fine.
Member for Fonya Councillor.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister, I want to add a little on a question that this group I could vividly remember.
Honourable Member?
Can you let me learn? I'm laying a foundation, please.
Honourable Member? Honourable Member?
Okay, thank you. I'm pushing my question now. Honourable Minister, as a fact of these two groups, recognition is given to the Supreme Islamic Council as per government representation. What method do you think will be put in place to discourage any counter analysis that is made by the council that the Rabatul Majalis will counter? What measures would you put in place to make sure that thing is averted? Please, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you're now talking about strategy and regulations that we need to put in place. You're right. Actually, we will not encourage or even cherish that. We will not even attempt to stand by those type of behavior because it's not going to occur well with the state. So we're not compromising it in any way. We've cautioned them, and that's our limit. And then we'll take legal actions if the perpetration continues.
Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, the right to association, the right to religion is constitutional. Any group, any member has the right to join. So, in your capacity as a minister, should you be entertaining people telling you to take action against a particular group or to condemn a particular group?
Honourable Speaker, I think this statement could be completely out of the context in which we are talking about here. Rabatul Majalis is not a religion. No, it's an association, Honourable Member. We interfere with their system. It's an association of people calling themselves a title. Now, we have an association in this country that we call the Supreme Islamic Council that oversees all those bodies. So if there is a sect that is not going to be part of this body, we have no legal problem with you. We don't have a problem with you. You can exercise your franchise as you wish, but you cannot also be empowered to go against the legally mandated people. It's unfair. We will not accept that. No, it's not. Rajatul Majalis cannot go against Supreme Islamic Council in any way.
Honourable Minister, please. Order, order. I appeal that honourable members address the Speaker. And if the Minister is answering question, you give him time and allow him to respond. Who is talking there? Please, please, let's maintain decorum. Honourable Minister, proceed.
I've really answered that.
Thank you. Member for Latikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, are you aware of the TRC recommendation that stipulated that government should not patronize any religious body? Order. Out of order.
Order.
Honourable Speaker, this question is not out of order. This question is not out of order because...
Point of order.
In fact, I think the honourable member himself knew that his question is out of order. He ruled himself. So your question is ruled out. The member for Woolley is.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I just want the Honourable Minister to clarify that there is no attempt to stifle the freedom of association, whether it is religion or it is any other. There is no attempt in any way to stifle the freedom of association of citizens. Just to confirm that.
Honourable member, you were to ask a supplementary question, but it looks like it appears you are making a general comment, which is even outside the question between Raudatul and the Supreme Islamic Council. So your question is ruled out, honourable member.
Let me reframe. If you are Honourable Minister, I can reframe. If Honourable
His time has elapsed.
If you want, I can reframe, but I thought I raised a question. Are you the Speaker?
Yes, we are.
Honourable Speaker, I appeal that I can reframe my question.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, as a Democrat. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister assure this august body that the freedom of association in respect to religion and all other things is guaranteed by the Constitution and guaranteed by
Honourable Speaker, point of order.
Lord Salum, can we hear the point of order?
Order 32. Honourable Speaker, the question was imposed by Honourable Seni Jawara. What they are saying, this was not captured in my original question. They are neither on their response. Please.
Honourable Speaker, the question can come from the minister's response, not only his parent question.
Well, stand up. You are not giving the floor.
Stand up, honourable member. Sit down.
We are talking to the. You are not giving the floor. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. Honourable Minister.
To respond, I think we have already popularized ourselves as a ministry and as a government not to strive any religion or any individual in association to a religion. But we as a ministry, given the responsibility to regulate this component, have to be very strict to avert all forms of intrusion or diffusion or polarization of our religions we already have. I think this is a caution that the Parliament will support us in this endeavor to maintain the peace and tranquility of the country, and particularly the respect for humanity. I think something we really cherished.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the Minister has told us that there was a time his ministry has called these two religious groups. So my question is, what is the main bone of contention between these two?
Honourable Minister.
Honourable.
Question rule out.
He called them. Honourable Speaker, he's the one who said he called these two. So when he called them, he must hear from them. He said it.
Honourable members,
before he came, the report might be there.
Honourable member,
the report might be there.
Honourable member, I ruled already on that matter. Question number 0240 of 2022 by the member for Fonyi Jarol.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs confirm to this August Assembly the sale of land within the central abattoir, to whom it was sold and then how much?
Honourable Minister.
Honourable Speaker, and thank you so much, Honourable Member and the quorum. There was no sale of land within the central abattoir. But the request or the question I would dilate, request to confirm. That means there is any proof towards that. My office will be readily available to give you any personal response or subsequent responses on any questions in Parliament about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I don't know whether you've made any investigation whether there was land allocated at the abattoir and it was sold with proof of documents. That I almost got everything.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Thank you very much. That would be a privilege for my ministry to know that there is this type of a transaction that really occurred on land without our purview. The document you have, is it qualified by any member of the ministry also?
Thank you, Honourable Minister. These documents came from the police, IG, at the same time from Minister of Lands. At the same time, when we made we just noticed the Augustus prom, that time when it happened. So we even threatened that we are to demonstrate, and that's the time the police have to write, giving me the letter that we should allow these people to do any work there.
What's it?
No, the question was whether sale or not sale. I cannot remember any document in the office as any land being sold to anybody within that jurisdiction. Private or personal transactions don't occur, but I will be very much honored, Honourable Speaker, if those documents can be made available to the ministry, because it will be a good step for us to make our investigations and authenticate it. And we will report to Parliament anytime any information is obtained on it.
Thank you. Member for Lower Salo.
Yes, thank you, Honourable Speaker. I was just asking the Honourable Minister to further concentrate with the Honourable Member to work hand in glove to see the facts of the issue to bring the election.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Again, the Honourable Member has a right to write to the office, portraying his grievance and attaching all the documents towards it that are proofs or confirmation of the transaction that it has also already taken place. But it has to be authenticated, please.
Member for Busumbala.
Thank you very
Honourable
much,
Speaker.
Honourable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I know the Minister for Lands and Local...
Honourable Busumbala, is that an order? Point of order?
Yes, point of order. The Honourable Minister say grievance. Which grievance is not parliamentary.
Honourable Member. Honourable Member.
Let him quote.
Honourable Member, you are rising on a point of order. Can you tell us, or can you proceed and tell us your point of order under which clause?
On an observation that was made by the Minister.
Honourable Member, thank you. Please sit down. Please, thank you. The member for Busumbala, can you proceed?
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I know the Minister must be very much familiar with the land at that central abattoir. Can the Minister tell us the measurement of the said land of that central abattoir so that we will know, supposing the letter has been dispatched to him, whether the actual land that has been sold fall within the context? Thank you.
Honourable Member, your question is ruled out. It's out of order.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Speaker, this is a land. Honourable Speaker.
No, we have to be
no. Can I know the reason why my question is
our
ruled
person
out?
is getting order now. How many questions you rule out here? And some of those questions are in order.
Deliberately rule out questions out.
No, let's not make the job difficult for you.
It's not fair for you to do that.
Order.
No.
Order, you cannot continue to disrespect the chair.
Hey, come on. Hey, look. Honourable Speaker, we are talking about a central abattoir land here. If I want to know the measurement of that land from the Honourable Minister of Land, he should tell me. If he did not know, let him tell me that I did not know.
Point of order.
Period.
Point of order.
Honourable member, please. Honourable members, the Honourable Member for Latikunda Sabeji, one question in particular case referring to yourself. The two questions you asked, they were out of order. And in fact, yourself knew they are out of order. I will only do my best to rule in accordance with the procedures. However, I said that question was ruled out. Now, the member for Birkamanot.
Point of order, Honourable Speaker, point of order.
Honourable Speaker.
I'm rising on point of order 43, supplementary questions, clause 4. Honourable Speaker, it reads, with your permission, a supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original questions and the answers provided, For the avoidance of doubt whether a supplementary question is within remit shall be determined on answering by the Vice President, Minister, member answering questions on behalf of the National Assembly. Some of the members, what they are asking is related to the original question. It's about the abattoir. I think with your genuine permission, allow them so that we can have a better conversation.
Honourable Member, you know, let me help to guide this assembly. The question is to confirm. The question is to confirm. And the answer is that there was no sale of land. The question was to confirm the sale of the land. And the answer to the contrary. That's halas. That's the end of it. That's what he said.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Speaker, the question is about central abattoir.
Yes, to confirm.
Yes, so we want to know the dimension of that plan. The Honourable Minister is before us.
Point of order. Honourable Speaker, point of order.
Honourable members, can I call on the Honourable Member for Birkamanot?
Thank you very much.
No, but this is a point of order.
Honourable Speaker, yes, indeed, the key in the parent question is regarding confirmation of the sale of land. However, to the best knowledge of the Minister, the response given is the Minister cannot confirm the sale of land. The questioner tried to bring evidence of sale of land. And I want to put it...
Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, this is a point of order, please.
Can I land, please? Honourable Minister, it is not for the said Honourable Member to lace with your office. Since the matter has been raised here, can you please do justice to the August Assembly and take it from there to try to establish whether actually what he claimed there was a sale.
Point of order, Honourable Speaker.
Can we hear the point of order? Anna question, see, arrange. Can we hear the point of order?
I decline because he already said.
Thank you.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Member for Upper Salum.
I'm writing on number 8, which is very clear, 8.3. The Speaker's ruling is final. We've got to move on to another question. It's final.
Anna. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister for Lands and Religious Affairs. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members. I wish to see you soon. I like the Parliament.
Clerk.
Questions for oral answer by the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture.
Thank you very much. Questions for which due notices were given to the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture by Honourable Members for oral reply. Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture. Question number 0248-2022 by the member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the recent situation at the airport in the country is undesirable to some tour operators, resulting in cancellation of flights to the Gambia. Could the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture tell this August Assembly what measures are in place to ensure a successful tourist season?
Good morning, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Members of the National Assembly. In answer to the question raised by the member for Bakau constituency, I wish to state as follows. I would like to inform the Honourable Member for Bakau constituency that there was no flight cancellation at the BANJUL International Airport. Honourable Speaker, with regards to the measures in place to ensure a successful season, I'm also very delighted to appraise this August Assembly of the following. All major, and I emphasize major, operational and environmental challenges and lapses at the level of the BANJUL International Airport have been addressed, including the deployment of an operational fit-for-purpose fire trucks. The airport land site has been spruced to create a conducive atmosphere for the arriving tourists and visitors. The air site of the terminal building has been given a facelift and all dome sites cleared, as well as the overgrown vegetation trimmed to prevent bird strikes. GT Board and the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority are in discussion to roll out a capacity building programs for frontline staff at the airport, including immigration personnel, GRA and fire service personnel, and the porters, to boost their operational efficiency and inculcate in them tourist-friendly behavior and customer care. Various tax concessions on landing fees, facilitations, cost rolled out by the GCAA to make BANJUL International Airport more competitive to carrier airlines, both scheduled and charters. The Market Intelligence Working Group was set up at the level of the GT Board on the eve of the 2022-23 winter season, using top-notch digital tools to monitor travel, friends, and visitors' satisfaction levels relative to competing destinations. Inspection of all hospitality establishments are being rolled out by the Gambia Tourism Board Inspectorate Unit to ensure compliance to set standards while boosting service levels. PR and marketing outreach campaign by the Ministry of Tourism and the Gambia Tourism Board and other tourist and travel trade stakeholders intensified in key primary and secondary source markets. In this regard, I'm pleased to inform this August Assembly that I have just concluded return from the United Kingdom where a team participated in grand style at the World Travel Market, the first since COVID-19, and the indications are that tourism will gradually rebound following what was deemed a very low point in global travel and tourism due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Honourable Member.
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. Honourable Minister, it's very strange to me that you've indicated in your response that there was no flight cancellation in the country, which is strange to me. And this news was on radios, on newspapers, and now you are before August body that there was no flight cancellation.
I want to reiterate my answer, Mr. Speaker, that there was no flight cancellation. And I stand by my answer.
Again, I have asked about the undesirable condition of the airport, and you've not responded to that. What's your take on that? Because there was indications that the airport was very clean, was very dirty. That was why some of these flights were cancelled by tour operators, and it doesn't.
Mr. Speaker, I repeat again, there were no cancelled flights. However, Mr. Speaker, the Titan Group that operates the Flights of Gambia Experience carried out an audit at the BANJUL International Airports, and there were issues raised by the audit report, and those issues included a faulty fire truck and dump site around Yundum, and also lack of trimming of the grass around the airport premises and perimeters. And all these issues were addressed by the presidential committee that was set up last year when the issue, 2 years ago, when the issue of bird strike became a concern to airlines. And that committee swung into action, and the truck was fixed, the parts arrived, and the airport areas and perimeters was cleared, grass trimmed, and the dump site cleared. So there were no other concerns. This is, to the best of my knowledge, what I know about the issue that the Honourable Member is talking about.
Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honourable Minister, the Honourable Member is talking about the undesirable condition or that leads to the cancellation of the flight at the airport. But like we were informed that the levy, the airport levy, which is put on these travelers, also resulted to the cancellation of flight. Is that true?
I repeat, there were no cancellation of flights. Therefore, your question becomes unanswerable or irrelevant to me because there were no cancellation of flights.
Honourable Speaker, the Minister should answer honourable members in a very good manner, please. You need to address that, please.
It's not your business.
Honourable Minister cannot just come and say anything he wants to say here. Honourable Speaker,
can you take a seat, please?
Address that first,
can you
please.
take a seat, please?
Honourable Member Latikunda, sit down, please.
Order, please. Honourable Member for Latikunda Sabiji, please. If you want to speak, to rise to point of order, raise your tab. You cannot just get up and use the mic and start to speak. Please, Honourable Member. Thank you, sir. Honourable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Minister of Tourism inform this August Assembly whether he is aware that airlines operating in this region have a complaint that the licenses given to them, the fees, are high, which is discouraging air travel in the region. Are you aware of that?
Honourable Speaker, I'm not aware.
Member for Sanementreng.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister of Tourism and Culture tell us, based on his explanation on the undesirable condition of the airport then, due to the not cleaning of the grass at the airport. Honourable Minister, could you explain to us what happened then to the flights that were to land in the Gambia? Thank you.
Honourable Minister, use your mic, please.
If you ask me a question that I can throw light on, I can do so. Madam Honourable Member of Parliament for Joshua constituency, I will throw light now that I'm getting the correct information. But there are no
not Joshua.
Joshua Ngadi.
I am not Joshua, I am Sani Mentor.
I'm sorry,
thank
I
you.
apologize. There were no cancelled flights. But actually, you see, that's why people don't depend on rumors. It's always good to act on facts and not on fiction. There were concerns raised by one of our major tour operators that the audit report of the airport had some concern. And if those concerns were not addressed, they would cease to fly. And those concerns are the ones I listed, and they were addressed, and we returned to normalcy. There was no concern. And we were given a deadline that if you don't correct this by this date, we will not allow our flights to come for the safety of our people, and that was fully addressed. So there was no cancelled flight. And those concerns were the one I just raised to you, faulty fire truck, and of course the dump site at Yundum because it causes bird strike, bring planes down, and then of course there was the grass that was not cut, and that was done. Once it was addressed, the chapter was closed. We're expecting another audit any minute from now because they don't inform you, they just fly in and make an audit and then go back to take up. So we are waiting for that audit to come. But we are on ground, we are moving. Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, sorry, maybe the Minister did not understand the question.
Honourable Member, Honourable Member, please sit down.
No, I just want to clarify.
Member,
maybe
please.
he did not understand the
Honourable
question
Member,
that I asked.
please sit down. Honourable Member, please sit down. I just made it clear to the member for Ladekunda prior to you taking the floor that if you want to speak, raise your tag. No, Honourable Member, and this is supplementary. No, you raise your tag, Honourable Member. Honourable Member, if you want to speak, you raise your tag. And this is supplementary. You have an opportunity only once to ask your supplementary question.
What I am saying is maybe he did not understand the question. So I just want to repeat the question so that he can understand and then answer it.
Honourable Member, please don't use your mic. Don't speak if you are not granted. Please. Member for Serekunda.
Yes, thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honourable Minister. As we know that tourism was started in this country by the Scandinavians, Bertil Harding. And now we understand that there is no Scandinavian flight coming to this country. Could you confirm to this assembly why? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, that's a new question. I will request the Honourable Member for Serekunda to send a full question to my office and it will be answered right away.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, for making our job easy. The member for Minority Leader and member for Brikama North.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, you made mention of the issue of the bird strike, that activities that took place. I say you made mention on the issue of the bird strikes, activities that took place around the perimeter fence and then in Yundum community at Bafloto. How about the other communities like Old Yundum and then the Abuko Nature Reserve that were considered to be potential areas as far as bird strike is concerned?
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Member for the Honourable Member, Minority Leader and Member for Brikama North constituency is absolutely right. These are hotspots for bird strike. And you know, birds are more dangerous to aircraft than even missiles. And this has been a concern to the government, and that's why the President came up with a task force, a committee, that would make sure that these areas are taken care of. And I can assure the August body that this committee is already in action. Already we've realized that they've started dumping at Yundum, and some other areas at Old Yundum were cleared, and Jabang area were cleared. The Abuko slaughtering center, those who were doing the illegal slaughtering were also brought to book. It is not an easy task because the Brikama Area Council is not well resourced. We must confess and agree to that. And they also claim that they are owed monies by other councils by other government agencies. However, the central government is doing all what it takes to make sure that these areas are taken care of, particularly the one around Bafuloto.
Honourable Minister, summarize your...
the one around Bafuloto is being taken care of. So we are working on it. It's not easy because even when you clear today, tomorrow you come and find them dumping something. That means we need to get them an alternative dumping sites. And government have already identified that. So the process of getting them somewhere to dump their refuge and the rest of it will soon be concluded. But I can assure you it's a concern to government, and we need the cooperation of members of the National Assembly who are within these constituencies also to enlighten and educate their people the danger of dumping in wrong dump sites and unmarked dump sites. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Please take note, your answers to supplementary should not last more than 2 minutes. Question number 0249-2022 by the member for Janjamure.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister of Tourism Culture inform this August Assembly the rationale behind the air exclusive tax fares, since it is impacting negatively on the visitors' arrival compared to other destinations? Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Honourable Speaker, I would urge the Honourable Member to refer the above question to the Ministry of Interior. The Ministry of Tourism and Culture is neither the implementer nor the initiator of this tax levy.
Member.
Yes. Honourable Speaker, I think the Honourable Minister really owes this Assembly an answer for the simple reason that when it comes to travel matters, it is more of tourism related than security related. Thank you.
Honourable Member, I think what he's saying, the issue of the tax levy falls, or in respect to the airports, falls within the docket of the Ministry of Interior. So I think he referred your question to be redirected to the Ministry of Interior.
Honourable Speaker, can I comment, please? As I said earlier, it is travel related, and I want to believe that the Ministry of Tourism are stakeholders. They are party to the contract or to the agreement. So therefore, I would expect an answer from the Honourable Minister, please.
Speaker, I want to reiterate to the member for Janjambure constituency, this is a security levy tax. We are not responsible of security at the airport. Therefore, I reiterate once again, please, Honourable Member, refer your question to the Minister of Interior.
Honourable Speaker, can I observe, please? Observation. Yeah, Honourable Minister. Minister. I can observe him.
Honourable Member?
Yes, I think he declined actually, so let me just come back. Don't worry. You cannot observe the minister. Honourable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, for the sake of the records, I am not declining to answer a question. Please, don't let history not quote me to have done wrong to this assembly. I am not. Don't refer to
I meant to my colleague declining for a point of observation, just for point of clarity, Honourable Minister. I am referring to my colleague, Honourable Member, on that particular issue. Honourable Speaker, I think until you are able to make a ruling on this matter, but I want to believe that as much as it is a security levy tax, I want to believe that it is equally tourism related, and then the Ministry of Tourism are stakeholders, are partners to the signing of the agreement, and therefore I will urge the Honourable Minister to kindly help in giving us a fitting answer, please. Thank you.
Honourable Member, yes, I agree it's cross-cutting could affect tourism, but the issue of the security levy fee or tax, you may call it, in his submission he indicated that it is not under his ministry, and therefore he referred your question to the Ministry of Interior. And however, if you have other questions with regards to that, you may channel it through the Ministry of Interior, and if it have to do with directly under the Ministry of Tourism, you can still write new questions and send it to his office for oral answer in subsequent sessions.
No, Honourable Speaker, order 32. Yes.
Lower Salum,
yes.
The point of order.
Yes, already the minister has answered him to refer him to the land ministry. There is no supplementary question. Let's move another one, please.
I'm going to ask my supplementary. I was already.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, Honourable Speaker, that's true. There's no supplementary question.
Honourable Member for Lower Salum, can you read us order 32, please?
Permissible interruptions. No member except the speaker shall interrupt. Wait. Alarm to come. 32. By raising a question on the point of order, whether the proper proceedings have been made or have been followed by the member. So,
Honourable, I think, yes, I think Seni himself is out of order.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The questions have not been answered by the minister but referred to the relevant ministry. And as such, we proceed.
Speaker.
Call me.
No, I have another question.
You already called me, Honourable Speaker. I think I need to speak so that your ruling can be effected after when I speak and spoke, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister, my knowledge on public sector work, this security levy is supposed to be a stakeholder affair. The Ministry of Tourism must be a stakeholder in this. We want you to tell the National Assembly members your stakeholder knowledge, please. Thank you very much.
Honourable Member, that one is ruled out. Question number.
Honourable, please. We have not exhausted the 6 questions.
Honourable Speaker, please allow members to ask questions. No.
All what is bringing today, it has been rolling out.
Order. Question number 0250 of 2022 by the member for Janjamure.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture inform this August gathering what plans are in place to develop and promote sustainable ecotourism to match visitors' expectations and taste? Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, in line with global tourism trends, some of the fastest growing niche markets in tourism include adventure travel, educational tourism, culinary tourism, wellness travel, but demand for products anchored on our prestige ecosystem. Natural biodiversity, cultural patrimony continue to rise exponentially post-pandemic. In line with these trends, destinations are focusing on creating more personalized eco-packages, catering for small groups of tourists and offering nature-based packages. Consequently, it is the aim of the new Tourism Policy and Strategy 2022-2032 formulated by the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. Cultural tourism cultural tourism will be integrated in the ecotourism to form a tourism package that informs, entertains, and marvels visitors with Gambia's heritage and customs. It is intended that ecotourism and culture would drive the country's tourism industry to create income and employment and contribute to economic diversification. Honourable Speaker, in view of vast natural biodiversity and ecosystem, diverse cultural and heritage assets, both tangible and intangible, rooted in our legendary hospitality, this lofty goal is achievable with a view to taking tourism to the doorstep of every region in the country and increasing the impact of tourism in line with the vision for tourism development enshrined in the new tourism policy and strategy 2022-2032. This will also enrich the visitors' experience, engendering pride in local people through positive interaction with tourists, which in turn will lead to a boost in visitors' numbers in line with the vision of new tourism policy. This further takes core from the fact that tourism provides opportunities for human interactions, and its best, this relationship takes the form of positive host and guest relations, a traditional in African cultural and still deeply rooted in the Gambian culture. Honourable Speaker, at this juncture, I wish to emphasize that uncontrolled tourism can also bring negative vices to the doorstep of communities. Besides, tourism is a service-intensive industry, where the consumer comes to experience the offer. But we all know agriculture, a productive industry, is the backbone at this regional level. Therefore, to introduce tourism to the regions through community-based tourism and ecotourism approaches will require the creation of appropriate support system in terms of capacity building in critical skills sets such as customer care, hospitality, basic marketing, example, businesses, cultural diversity, entrepreneurship, and also importantly, financial support to undertake sustainable tourism development. Sustainable tourism operates in harmony with communities, their culture, and the environment, so that these become permanent beneficiaries of tourism. However, for any tourism venture to be successful, it has to be a market-driven and respond to consumer demand and the travel trends of the industry. As such, the overall policy objective in the tourism diversification front is geared towards the provisions of adequate infrastructure, adequate human resource development and maintenance of standards improving service, quality levels, and creation of a conducive and sustainable environment that is attractive to investors. And investors, but not at the expense of our ecosystem. Here, sustainability is the key word. Elements of natural and cultural environments which are destroyed for short-term gain will be lost to the future generations. In this regard, it is worth pointing out that the partnership and intervention of certain non-state actors such as the EU, YEP, TICKET, FI, projects, International Trade Center, Spanish Red Cross, as well as ASET, Association of Small-Scale Enterprise in Responsible Tourism, have been highly appreciated and would continue to make all the differences in the realization of this policy objective. Through such partnerships, determined efforts are being made by the Ministry of Tourism and Culture and the Gambia Tourism Board to roll out community projects in all the regions as well as building ecologies with a view to spreading the benefits of tourism. In this regard, I am pleased to inform this August Assembly that the World Bank Tourism Recovery, Development and Resilience Project is poised to roll out soon as it will seek implement government efforts in the tourism recovery and diversification in a big way. Let me pause to say, Honourable Speaker, that project was launched yesterday, a $68 million the tourism diverse regional project was launched yesterday by my ministry under the guidance and the instruction of His Excellency the President of the Republic. Honourable Speaker, it is also in the same vein that the Gambian Tourism Board deployed regional tourism managers in all regions for the first time in the history of the Gambia and are tasked to work alongside the regional stakeholders and authorities to mainstream tourism in their operations and programs, ensure environmental upkeep and security of visitors into attraction site, and ensure compliance to standard operating procedure by regional tourist outfits. Most critically, assess infrastructure needs as far as tourism is concerned and prepare an inventory of tourism attraction and appropriately advise regional stakeholders on tourism-friendly policies and practices to develop tourism at regional level. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member.
Yes. Honourable Minister, I think you have said a lot, but then from the little I picked, you did mention about some strategies that the ministry is applying on the ground just to ensure that our tourism is being sustainable. I just want to understand way more on your deliberations or on your answers as to the specific sustainable strategic plans that are in place other than employing or appointing regional officers with the Gambia Tourism Board, more especially your engagements with local communities. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the Honourable Member for Janjambure constituency the tourism policy which we have just developed and rolled out, soon to come out by 2023, will be made available to him. Clear strategies and policies that are determined to address the situation that he mentioned. I will avail you a copy for your retention and your study.
Thank you very much. I believe that will be a useful document. Also, finally, Honourable Speaker, what other products are you really developing in order to match the realities of tourism with the market base? Thank you.
Speaker, I also want to inform the Honourable Member for Janjambure. Unfortunately, you were not present at the launching of the Tourism Diversification Resilient Project, but I will also advise each member to go to the website of the World Bank, where clearly every objective of this project is specified, and that will give you more insight of the issues that you have raised. Thank you.
Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I hope this other question will become relevant to the Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister, you mentioned about the building of ecologies in all the 7 regions of the Gambia. What is the status of these ecologies? Thank you. You said in your answer that you are building ecologies in all 7 regions of the Gambia. What are the status of the construction of this ecology?
Thank you. The status are ongoing.
Point of order, Honourable.
Yeah, can we hear your point of order? Member
yes.
for Woolly East.
Yes, Honourable, unless the Minister clarifies, but my information is that that case is before the court.
Case withdrawn, work is ongoing. I'm answering, I'm responsible.
Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, work is ongoing.
Honourable Minister.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Honourable Member for Woolly East. The member for Opanyomi talks about the ministers in his response to construction of ecology in all the regions as a form of promoting ecotourism. And he's asking the status of that construction. And you talked about, you said the matter is before the court. Can you please help guide this assembly?
What I'm told is that there is a case before the court relating to the status of those ecologies. That's what I'm saying. And if that is the case, then we don't need to entertain that question here.
Okay, okay.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. That's a different case. What the Honourable Member is asking and what he's saying is quite different. It's quite different.
Yes.
Honourable Speaker, I just want to clarify a point of order.
Okay, go ahead before I rule.
Yes, point of order 43.4, clause 4. It says that the supplementary question shall not be in order if it is introduced matters not included in the original question and the answer provided. For the avoidance of doubt, whether a supplementary question is within the remit shall be determined on answering by the, the answer he gave, that's where I took my supplementary question from. Thank you.
No, Honourable Member.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Member. Order. Honourable Member. The member for Opanyomi. You raise a point of order. I'm responding, but you are. What he is saying is that the matter is before the court. He is not indicating that your supplementary question is out of order. Now, your question is general. You are asking the status of construction of eco-lodge throughout the country. I'm not so, Honourable Member for Woolly, is if all those eco-lodge under construction, the matters are before the court.
Honourable, that's what I'm saying. I say unless the minister clarifies, my information is that there is a case before the court relating to those ecologies, the status of those ecologies construction. That's
Okay, one of those ecologies. So, Honourable Minister, you can proceed and answer the question, but not to include the particular place which is before the court.
Mr. Speaker, I'm aware of the issue of not talking about matters before the court. I was a member of this August body, and I know the issue. And I'm speaking what I'm speaking, I know what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker. The issue is the ecologist, the contractor failed to perform, we took him to court. He came to ask for a withdrawal of the case and the continuation of the project. And we agreed that he is now constructing as we speak. And that's the information I wanted to give to this August body. Construction is on work, it's ongoing now. Yes. It's not before the court because he came to appeal. And I said, if you go to work, we withdraw the case. If you don't go to work, we proceed to court. And he started working, he's now working and constructing. The matter is no longer before the court. That's the answer I wanted to give this August body.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Nominated Member Keba Lang Fofana.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Sorry. Honourable Speaker, in the response of the Honourable Minister to the sustainability plan of the ecotourisms, the Honourable Minister did mention that they are trying to integrate ecotourism with community-based tourism, coming up with personalized packages, and also bringing cultural tourism. Can the Honourable Minister help us in specifics? What is the startup point and what immediate strategies do they have to really bolster the ecotourism sector? Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, if I want to elaborate on everything that the Honourable nominated member have just mentioned, I think I will spend the whole day here. But one thing that we have realized as a government when we took over was that tourism was purely urban-based issue. And that the rural Gambia seems to be given a little change or exchange for it. And we felt as a government it was important to drive tourism throughout the country and to make sure that people will travel to Gambia not only for the beach, the sea, the sun there, but rather to discover other issues that are attached to culture-centered tourism. And that culture-centered tourism is what has led us to the creation of initiating an idea of building lodges and supporting business enterprises to build lodges throughout the country and other related facilities. To make that work, we further went to say, let's deploy regional managers to support people who are willing to invest, people who are operating in the industry to promote culture-based tourism. And we went further to support the creation and the construction of wrestling arenas throughout in order again to inculcate our culture into the tourism sector because we have tourists who will be enticed by that. From the bird watching, from the animals, from all the rest of it, we believe there was a need for government to come in a force to educate, to support, to give not only support by technical support, but even by financial means, with all other possibilities. And once these lodges were built, it was important to have a foresight, train people how to operate, how to work within the industry. And that's why the Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute...
Point of order, Honourable Speaker.
Yes.
Yes, Member for Kia West.
Yeah, Kiang West, please. Can we hear your point of order?
Yes, the response to supplementary questions, not been more than 2 minutes. Yes, and I think the Honourable Speaker, Honourable Minister has gone beyond. Yes.
Honourable,
this is an order that we've all understood.
Order.
Are you this Honourable Speaker?
Order, please. Honourable Member, yes, please, you are raising point of order. Can you tell us can you read the authority?
No, wait, I need to hold the assembly for the order to be heard, if that's what you want.
Order 43.
Yes, I've seen order 43, so let me look at it.
Honourable Speaker, we are running out of time.
Check 43, paragraph 3.
Thank you. Honourable Member, can you please, Honourable Member, yes, please, thank you.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Member.
Honourable Speaker, please, there is no specific time to let me how I observe, isn't it? Is there any specific time to that? How long does it take me to observe?
Minority leader.
Right.
Yeah. Minority leader and member for Brikama North, yes.
I say this is common knowledge, we know it. We've been telling the ministers, reminding them that if you are responding to supplementary question, you should not speak more than 2 minutes. You reminded them. Do we need to go into the books to look at it when we have been reminded?
Thank you, member for Brikama North and minority leader. No, it's okay. Honourable, sit down. Please sit down. In fact, during the proceeding, I even reminded the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture that answer to supplementary question should not last more than 2 minutes. Honourable Minister, you can summarize. Thank you, sir.
We live in culture-centered tourism. That's why heritage site, very important site throughout the Gambia. Right now, we are building the Mongo Park in Same. We are working on trying to get a new lodge hotel in Woolly. We are trying to develop all James Island, which we have almost lost. We'll be having over $40 million back to originality. We want to make sure that all our heritage sites are restored to normalcy, and that no government have ever thought of that except the government of Adam Barrow. And we want to put all these resources in on it.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you.
Member for Woolly is member for Sanementreng.
Honourable Speaker, since the Minister of Tourism and Culture is here to promote sustainable ecotourism to match visitors and people around or beyond, Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister of Tourism and Culture tell this Assembly why an implementation of all-inclusive, as they may call it, to tourist visiting sites or to the tourist visiting this country? I mean the culture of all-inclusive in the tourism. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, this is not part of my question, from the original question. I think I believe the Honourable Member for Sanementreng have deviated from the question before me.
Point of order.
Yeah.
Point of order.
There is point of order. Can we hear the point of order? Member for Woolly is.
Point of order. Honourable Speaker, it is your responsibility to put a point of order, or members to put a point of order, not the minister. Thank you. The minister is saying this is out of order. I'm saying he is not the person who should say it is out of order. It's either the speaker or we put up a point of order.
Honourable members, you know, what in Wolof people say, Dahaganar Fajale sa sohla. I earlier on indicated, we all know that supplementary questions should come from the original questions and answers. And all-inclusive tourism and ecotourism are not the same. But I was using my discretion to allow the minister to highlight, and that the minister has indicated that is not part of his,
Honourable Speaker, may I kindly observe?
I appeal that you don't use the mic. If you want to speak, just raise your track. Yes, you want to observe me? Because I was making statement. You wanted to observe?
I want to observe you, of course, sir.
No, please. Thank you. Now, Member for Bakau.
Honourable Speaker, I think you're trying to entertain something in this parliament that we need to rise and speak about. The truth of the matter here is, I think you actually helping the minister from not actually answering our questions. If she talked about, no, allow me to learn, if she talks about inclusive tourism or whatever, I think out of the minister's answers, he was talking about tourism diversification. And few things he spoke about is the 3S. So, you know, you allow us to actually clear our minds than actually ruling in this manner.
Honourable Member, please sit down. Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, at the tail end of your response, you've indicated and mentioned a project that you've launched yesterday. Can you furnish this August Assembly how many Gambian youths will benefit employment out of that project?
That is not part of my question, sir. No. I want to say that it's not part of the original question that you said.
Honourable Speaker.
The response that you gave.
Honourable Speaker.
Yes, the member for Latikunda.
Yeah, I think you need to listen to what the Honourable Member for Willie said. It is not the minister's discretion to decide what is in order and what is not in order. That is your sole discretion, please. That's your sole discretion. And he talked about it, you didn't address it. I mean, it's happened again.
Member for
Honourable Speaker.
Yeah, Honourable Speaker. Yes, it is not part of the minister's question, but what the Honourable Member is trying to say, part of his response, he made mention of this specific project. Now he is trying to find out, since it came from him, and he made mention, what benefit are the youth getting from that project that you mentioned, even though it was not in the question that was put to, but you mentioned it.
Honourable members, thank you very much, the member for Brikamanot, for helping me to rule by indicating that that question of the member for Bakau, supplementary question, is not part of the questions and the original questions and the issues under the table. So therefore, thank you for helping me to rule it out.
Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker. Honourable
Yes,
Speaker.
Minority Leader.
Yes, I said it was not part of the parent question, but he is right that the response given by the Honourable Minister, he is the one who raised it, that this project was launched, and he's just merely asking the benefits that the youths are getting from the project. He himself mentioned, not the question.
Honourable Speaker.
Point of order, rising on a point of order. Point of order. 43-4. Honourable Speaker, it's a point of order, please. You only focus on the original questions. An outstanding order tells us that the answers also made by the minister. Don't forget about the answer. Don't focus on only one side. So what the members, no, what I'm saying is a supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original questions and the answers provided. It's two. This is English. Honourable Speaker, this is English. It's two.
Honourable Speaker.
That's why we have conjunction and. Do you understand? And is joining. The questions asked and the answers made. So if members ask questions from the answers, don't rule them out. You are not making parliament convenience for us to do the work.
Member for Upper Salum.
Honourable Speaker, I think the members are right. The supplementary question doesn't have to only connote only the question, but the oral answer also given by the minister or the member of the authority. From the answers, actually, you can derive a supplementary question. But may I read this thing also, Honourable Speaker, if you allow me? A supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original question and the answer provided. For the avoidance of doubt, whether a supplementary question is within the remit shall be determined on answering by the Vice President, the Minister, or the member answering the question on behalf of the authority. So the Minister also has the right to say it's out of order. So, well, no. That is our law. But this is our law.
No. Wait.
Exactly.
No. Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Speaker.
Cannot divide for the parliament.
Order. I'm coming. Order under Standing Order 43.4. Minister, can you please answer?
Speaker, my answer is I don't have the relevant information to the question is asked, and I let him. He can write. He can put another question to my ministry, and I'll give him all the details because I don't have those statistics.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Question number 0240-2022 by member for Fonyi Jarol.
He stepped out.
Question number 0251 of 2022 by member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture update this August Assembly on the state of tourism in the Gambia, especially in relation to foreign direct investment from 2017 to 2022? Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, tourism is a capital-intensive industry, particularly when it comes to putting in place the support infrastructure and product development to enhance visitors' experience in the destination. As such, tourism financing and investment are critical for further growth and development of the industry. In this regard, the government of the Gambia, private sector, and development partners all have a key role to play in ensuring the tourism industry is adequately resourced for rapid recovery and resilient post-pandemic. Honourable Speaker, having said that, I must hasten to point out that there is a paucity of data from GAIPA on foreign direct investment in tourism. However, the destination continues to attract investment through solicited and unsolicited applications for the construction of 4 5-star resorts to attract and adequately cater to top-end tourists. The net effects of all this is that in 2018, the sector was able to record the doubling of 13% target for foreign exchange earnings from the tourism sector. The proposed 5-star Radisson Blu Resort is a major investment in this regard and has the potential to add value to the existing stock of trend hospitality outfits in the tourism sector. The Barala and the Al-Limiral Hotel Resort project are attracting huge foreign direct investment sustainably in the range of $15 million to 800 and to $290 million respectively. In conclusion, however, Mr. Speaker, permit me to underscore that investment serves as the lifeblood of tourism, and my ministry will continue to create enabling environment so as to attract foreign direct investment in tourism, and more so through public-private partnership ventures in line with the main thrust of the new tourism policy and strategy 2022-2032, which aims to transform the Gambia tourism by fostering public-private partnership and attracting investment and strengthening linkages, enhancing legal and regulatory frameworks, institutional and human resource strengthening, product development and diversification, improving quality standard, effective destination and marketing and source market diversification, developing domestic tourism as well as community-based tourism and ecotourism, and embracing e-markets and digitalization towards inclusive and sustainable development in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you.
Honourable Member.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I try to capture the answer from what the Minister is saying. Is the Minister in a position to inform this August Assembly how much in dollar terms has the FDI attracted from 2017 to 2022 in the tourism investment?
Mr. Speaker, I don't have that answer with me. Those statistics, the Ministry of Finance, GAIPA, will do a better job for that than my ministry.
Honourable Speaker, I would want to encourage the Minister to make further inquiry, for you to make further inquiry to be able to give us this answer. Because, Honourable Speaker, I tapped the table for the Honourable Minister in 2017 when he promised this August Assembly that investments, large investment will be coming to the country and that will attract more than 800,000 tourists. So I tapped the table for him. So I would want him to 800,000. Yes, it's in record. You can go to the archives. It's there. You promised us that investment will be coming that will attract 800,000 tourists in terms of 5-star hotels and so on. So I'm expecting you to tell me higher figure, but you mentioned $15 million, which appears to be too minute. So can you please make more finding on this and come back to us, please?
Mr. Speaker, I will endeavor to make more research in this field and get back to the Assembly as appropriately as possible.
Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister of Tourism and Culture explain to this August Assembly on the state of the tourism in the Gambia, especially in relation to this all-inclusive in the Gambia within the time period of 2017 to 2022? Thank you.
Speaker, let me help the member for Sani Mentoring constituency with regards to this all-inclusive. And I've said it before this floor many a time. And maybe perhaps she was not in-house. Let me repeat again. Today, all over the world, 60% of all tourism bookings are on all-inclusive. And therefore, there is no destination that can say, we don't want all-inclusive. However, let me help you. In the Gambia, we would only accept all-inclusive in particular designated hotels. And virtually, it is very minimal in the Gambia for now. Because one of the major tour operators has been working on all-inclusive was the FTI, which has, of course, experienced some difficulties and withdrew from the Gambia. We're negotiating for their return, however. But it is not an issue for the tourism industry that is affecting us at all. Unfortunately, there were people who were misinforming people, telling them issues that were not true, that alarmed a lot of those who did not understand the dynamics of the industry. And that carried away people to misbelieve and misunderstand the all-inclusive package. It does not stop people from going out to a restaurant. It does not stop people from going on excursion. Not at all. It does not stop them from going to the market to buy souvenirs and the rest of it. We will welcome it, and it's part of our system, but at designated specific hotels, we will allow it. Thank you.
The member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the question is talking about the state of tourism. In summary, can he tell us the state of tourism as we are talking right now?
Mr. Speaker, again, it is not part of the original question. I'm coming. But I will still endeavor to enlighten Parliament on this because it's I'm coming. Allow me to learn.
Observation.
You want an answer? Allow me to learn, please. The state of tourism in the Gambia is looking bright. We've seen increase in bookings. We've seen a lot more people coming to this country. We've seen people willing to sign contract for the next 7 years for the Gambia. And that shows a positive aspect that the tourism is rebounding, is coming back to normalcy. And arrivals have gone beyond our expectations statistically. I can assure you that. Today, the Gambia is ranked among the 3rd safest place in Africa. And today, the Gambia, as far as we are concerned, government is responding to the concerns and the issues raised by tour operators throughout. I said yesterday, the President directed all COVID-related protocols in this country be abolished with immediate effect. That is because our partners, our stakeholders have been raising issues and concerns. This country has been responding positively to the needs and the welfare of visitors who want and who has been coming to the Gambia. We are optimistic. However, we have some concerns. That is the lack of quality beds. The Atlantic Hotel is virtually closed. Sheraton is closed. Kairava is not to the best of its type. Fajara Hotel is still closed. We need quality beds and a massive investment in this area. This ministry, working with other government agencies, are not relenting. We are on a drive to encourage international investors to come and build big hotels in this country. That would give us the quality bed. Notwithstanding, we've opened some new hotels that are of excellent standard, and in the next 2 years, we believe a lot more hotels will be completed for construction. So the state of tourism in the Gambia is not as bleak as it was 1 year ago. We can proudly say before this August Assembly, with everybody's participation, we are moving forward in a positive direction. Thank you.
Member for Brikama North and Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, in your response pertaining to the all-inclusive, you indicated that, however, in the Gambia, we will accept all-inclusive, in particular designated hotels. Which hotels fall under this category?
I cannot give you that list, Honourable Speaker. I may endeavor to furnish it to this August Bali if need be.
Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, again, out of your response, you've indicated that Gambia is the 3rd safest. Fine. Fine. If I am to put to you that Gambia is no longer safe as a tourist destination, what's going to be your take on that? Because you've seen or heard, I'm coming, please. Let me learn, please. We've seen or heard Gambians or tourists being attacked broad daylight in their hotel rooms, and Gambians being attacked in the street and being robbed. So you cannot call that kind of a country a safe destination for tourists. What's your take on that?
Mr. Speaker, I want the member of Bakau to withdraw that statement. It is disastrous, detrimental to this country's economy. This is the August body, the most important body after the cabinet in government. For you to make that statement, you are destroying this country. I'm sorry you are saying it. And they are capturing you. I'm sorry. It's a very bad statement.
And that's the fact, Honourable Speaker. Point of order.
No.
Honourable Speaker.
Observation. Observation.
No.
Order.
Observation.
Order.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable member, wait. Order.
Observation.
Order. Honourable Minister, please just answer to the question.
I will tell him that is not true, is fallacious and wrong and misinformed. That idea that the Gambia is not safe is, I repeat, is wrong, fallacious, and unbelievable and not true. Gambia is one of the safest countries in the world to be a destination. Tell me anywhere in the world where there are no crimes. Tell me anywhere in the world where there are no crimes, where every minute somebody is killed and is still considered to be a safe destination. We don't have that in this country. This country is safe. One of the safest, I am saying, in the world, and in Africa and in West Africa. For anybody to come and spend money and stay on holidays, enjoy with your family. The few cases that are happening, they must happen everywhere in the world. Even the countries where people are coming from, there are criminals acting criminally. It's all over. But looking at the statistics, we are one of the safest and the best places to come and stay on holidays, Mr. Speaker. I totally disagree with the Honourable Member, and I would urge him further to withdraw that statement. It is detrimental to the economy and to the country at large.
Honourable Minister, please. Yeah, the member for Brikama North and Minority Leader.
Speaker, let me put across that the Honourable Member has the right to ask the Honourable Minister the question. It is on you to put to the Honourable Member that this question is out of order, but not the Honourable Minister. And the Honourable Minister cannot tell the Honourable Member to withdraw the question. It is you who should say so. Let the Honourable Minister withdraw that order to tell the Honourable Member to withdraw his question.
You seconded. So, Honourable Speaker.
Please.
Honourable Speaker, please.
Please, you cannot use the mic. Please. Honourable Member for Brikama North and Minority Leader, that's why when the Honourable Minister made a statement, I asked him to proceed and answer. And he answered the question. I agree with you that they should answer.
Honourable Speaker.
Use your mic.
But having made that ruling, he went further to tell the Honourable Member to withdraw his question again at the tail end of his response. And that's why I'm also alluding that he should also withdraw that.
No, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Speaker, with all due respect, I'll prefer to die than to withdraw my question.
Very well. And the Honourable Minister should withdraw.
Oh, honourable members, please. Honourable Member for Bakau, I did inform the Minister to answer, and he proceeded and he answered. That means I have not asked you to withdraw your question. And he answered the question. So it is noted.
Honourable Speaker.
Question number 0252 of 2022 by the member for Sandu. I'm being informed by table office that the member for Sandu has authorized the member for Jemara to read his question on his behalf.
Honourable Speaker, I have concerns still up till now.
Honourable Member, please.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture update this August Assembly on the state of, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Yeah, yes. Could Honourable Minister of Tourism and Culture tell this August Assembly the Ministry's plan to develop domestic tourism in relation to the principle of sustainable tourism practices?
Honourable Speaker, Destination Gambia has indeed a lot more to offer in terms of tourism. Besides our conventional tourism anchored on sea, suns, and sand, otherwise known as package tourism, and that the real beauty sites as well as the real spirit of the Smiling Coast brand can be experienced through an emerging phenomenon called staycation, otherwise known as domestic tourism. This form of tourism is increasingly gaining prominence because it is safe and cost-effective in the light of emerging health and safety concerns globally. In addition, domestic tourism is identified among travel trends identified by experts for 2021 and 2022. However, Honourable Speaker, therefore, domestic tourism will be pivotal as countries gradually emerge from COVID-19 pandemic. The United Nations World Tourism experts expect domestic tourism to return faster and stronger than international travel. Given the size of domestic tourism, this will help many destinations recover from the economic impact of the pandemic, while at the same time safeguarding jobs, protecting livelihoods, and allowing social benefits tourism offers to also return. However, domestic tourism for now is an underexploited area, and yet it presents a huge potential for development of the sector.
Point of order. 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 Yes. Order 29.
I'm not ready. I think this question continues.
Order. Order can come at any time.
The question.
Order.
Honourable Minister. Yeah. Can we hear the point of order?
No. Let me allow him to finish then.
Honourable Minister, proceed.
I think the question continues if he allows me. Honourable Speaker, domestic tourism is not to be viewed as a substitute for international tourism, but as complementary to an already growing international tourism. It is therefore imperative to roll out outreach and generic promotion campaigns using a broad range of strategy and platform to create awareness at the national level, targeting specific segments on the range of products and many possibilities in tourism, and at the same time introduce domestic tourism-friendly incentives for hospitality outfits to stimulate domestic tourism. However, given that tourism is experience based on industry, it is also imperative to craft the requisite domestic tourism-friendly products rooted in the various attractions and products as well, developing the hard and soft infrastructure to serve the needs of our very different target market, i.e. domestic tourism whose craving and needs are different from that of the international visitors. Invariably, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, in conjunction with the Gambia Tourism Board, as well as the Gambia Hotel Association and Tourism and Travel Association of the Gambia, is engaged in hospitality outfits as well as Category A and B ground tour operators to roll out new packages and products at various levels, specifically targeting the domestic tourist. As you may know, Honourable Speaker, the Smiling Coast boasts a range of trended tourism and hospitality outfits suited with various amenities in terms of ecologies, boutiques, hotels, hotel resorts, trendy restaurants, substituous culinaries, delights, as well as speculate attraction sites in country and designed to pamper the discerning guest. Gambians have to appreciate the beauty of their country and ready to experience the delight, sights, and sound of this beautiful country. Honourable Speaker, given that pricing was going to be a key variable in domestic tourism drive, GT Board is also engaging, sensitizing tourist businesses units and hospitality outfits on the need to revisit their pricing and tourist package to suit and respond to the need of the domestic tourists. This is critical in the light of the fact that the orientation and focus of Gambian tourism and the overall bundle of package on offer are designed primarily for international visitors. However, the lesson learned from COVID-19 are the fact that it is extremely dangerous to put all your eggs in one basket. You will now realize that most of the tourist destinations that are most affected are those that are mainly depending on international tourists. Destinations that were quick to come back to businesses, even during COVID, were those that have diversified the tourism offer and make a foray into domestic tourism. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, Honourable.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the minister's response, he made mention of the domestic tourism being explored. So I wonder, I don't know whether you have an immediate or medium-term plan in exploring this particular sector.
Point of order before the minister starts answering. Point of order.
Can you hear that?
Order 29, content of speeches. Honourable Speaker, clause 4, it shall be out of order to use offensive and insulting language about members of the Assembly. I want to remind myself and you to remind the Honourable Minister, we need to respect each other in terms of responding to members in this House.
Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, point of order.
Point of order of all.
Speaker, rule on that first.
Who is talking?
I said you rule on that first before you accept another point of order.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I've already ruled. I said point of order sustained.
Point of order. Honourable Speaker, I'm referring to point of order 8, subsection 3.
Nominated member Kebalang Fofana.
Yes. The Speaker's ruling shall be final on all questions of procedure and order. I think this issue have already been ruled upon. So bringing it back will only distract the Parliament. The Speaker did rule that what the Minister said, telling the member that you cannot ask that question, is not the mandate of the Minister. That ruling was done. So members should definitely accept that ruling and we move on.
No.
Thank you. Please. Thank you. Honourable Minister, respond to the supplementary question. If you forget, can he remind you? Please use your mics.
The minds of members of the Assembly. Repeat it again.
Thank you. Sorry for that interruption. I mean, you said the domestic tourism area is being underexplored. So I want to know if you have a medium-term plan in exploring the sector.
Answer to the Honourable Member for Jimara constituency, I think you have asked a very important question. No doubt that during COVID, we started seeing Gambians visiting hotels, staying in hotels with their families, even taking boats going on excursions. I was amazed. Gambians, tourists, being tourists in their own country. And I realized that of a study that we conducted in Kenya, which is the best in Africa in terms of domestic tourism. We visited Kenya to try to study what they did, how they were able to get their hotels being filled. 34% of the millions of tourists in Kenya are Kenyan citizens. When I came back from that study, I realized that there were too many things to do to make sure that Gambians can go take their families on holiday. Some people here have never been to Basse. You know that? There are people who have never been to Fototo here in this assembly. Probably, I want to believe, maybe not the exception of Alaj Dabu who is campaigning. I am so. But because we believe, sorry, the Honourable Member for Birkaba North, I believe it is important that we look at policies. One of the policies that Kenya have done is to have a special price in hotels for Kenyan citizens with Kenyan passports. They have a special discount for anybody who is a citizen and presenting a passport of a Gambian. They give you a special price. And I think that's something that we need to explore. The ministry is trying to see what we can do to help Gambians to be tourists in their own country and spend money with their children and family to go out to explore the beauty of this country. And we will keep you informed as we move on towards that policy, because we will need your support. Probably even if it needs legislation, we need to come back to promote the domestic tourism aspect of our country. Thank you.
Honourable Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Member revealed to us the potential embedded in domestic tourism, which was very explicit in his answering. But the member is asking for the Ministry's plan to develop domestic tourism in relation to the principle of sustainable tourism practices. Do you have this in place, Honourable Minister?
Yes. I can tell you, the Honourable Speaker, that's why we are developing lodges, encouraging Gambian entrepreneurs and other business entrepreneurs to make sure that they build lodges and hotels throughout the country, so that when you live in any destination, any region that you go in the Gambia, you can sleep in a decent hotel. And that we are promoting. So we want to make sure that we encourage them, give them the facilities, support them in every aspect that they want. They build these lodges, build these hotels, so that when people go, and transportation is river transport. We are also trying to encourage investors to invest in river transport, so that it becomes easier for you to join a boat from every part of the river Gambia to go and visit any part of this country. And we will be looking at other possibilities that we can facilitate and support investors in this area.
Member for Janjamure.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister, I just want to ask, what are some of the services in place to actually accommodate domestic tourism, more especially in our rural communities?
Mr. Honourable Member for I'm sure you are aware, you are one of our trainees who have benefited from this program. You are one of those who have benefited from that program, and your community benefited from that program. Over 60 of your youths were trained on that program to offer the services by the Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute. We are training people throughout the country. The region that was left was West Coast. We have now incorporated West Coast. We are training people in every region to make sure that they know how they can offer services to people in these facilities. Thank you.
Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, we are speaking about domestic tourism. And as the Right Honourable know, many communities are embarking on establishing ecotourism camps in their various communities across the provinces. Is the ministry thinking of providing some support to initiatives from communities to make these ecotourism camps, community tourism camps, viable in the country?
We'll be more than willing to support. If you have such camps, reach out to the Gambia Tourism Board, to the ministry, or through the tourism board. They will forward it to the ministry, and where we need to support, we'll make sure we support. We'll be more than willing to do that.
Member for Upper Saloon.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, would the Honourable Minister consider collaborating with the Minister of the Environment, particularly the Department of Wildlife, for the development of the Kiang West National Park, because it has the potential actually to help increase in domestic tourism. Instead of our tourists going across the country to go to Senegal, to Nyokolokoba and the likes, why can't we think about also developing our own where we can actually attract domestic tourism? Would he consider that?
Mr. Speaker, in promoting domestic tourism related to wildlife, I want to assure the Honourable Member, as far back as 2017, this ministry encouraged the Minister of Environment to make sure that Fatala is replicated in the Gambia. And we encouraged them, they signed a contract with them, gave them Abuko, they started the project, and COVID came in, and the project got stalled. But we are now working with them to make sure that the millions of dollars and that are going across this country to another country is retained in the Gambia. So the Fatala contract is on, and I have no doubt that the Ministry of Environment is in the position to give an update of how far they've gone with that. Secondly, with the Kiang Forest Park, we have also been to Zimbabwe, together with the Ministry of Environment, to negotiate with the Zimbabwean government to give us this, to restock, because it was stocked as far back in 1929 or so, the whole place is there, but then it has disappeared. However, we are now working on, we started this program with the Zimbabwean government to help restock Kiang Forest Park and make it one of the best centers in this country. And again, the level of discussions as far as we are, because COVID really disrupted a lot of these things. But we are aware and the need to restock Kiang Forest, and not only Kiang Forest Park, all other islands that are in the country that needs to be developed, because we've lost a lot of forest cover in recent past. And we need to really preserve these islands and these than what is left with us for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Nominated member Kebalang Fofana.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, during the Minister's response, he did indicate that there was an exponential rise in domestic tourism during the COVID period. And he did also say that a study was conducted in Kenya where it was realized that over 34%, domestic tourism was contributing over 34%. So my question would be, after realizing the exponential rise in domestic tourism and the study that was done in Kenya, was there any baseline study in the Gambia to know the actual drivers of domestic tourism as it is obtained now, and what sustainability plans are being developed around those drivers to make sure that it improves gradually?
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honorable nominated member. I can assure you there was a baseline, and I can assure you that our policy addressed that. The policy will drive the strategy of the implementation of that process. I can assure you we're 100% on board with that process of making sure that domestic tourism takes center stage in whatever we do for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture, for answering those questions. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Clerk.
Questions for oral answer by the Honourable Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare.
Thank you. Questions for which due notices were given to the Honourable Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare by Honourable members for oral reply. Honourable Minister. Question number 0173-2022 by the member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare update the August Assembly on the status of the implementation of the Women Enterprise Fund and the sustainability plans for such funds?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, the Gambia Women Enterprise Fund was launched on the 12th of September 2019 and enacted into law in 2020. Since its inception, the Minister has been continuously engaging in some of the following activities: sensitization of the women and girls on the significance of the WEF and its purpose, training of women groups on business and entrepreneurship skills to build their capacity about the WEF. On the side of the Women Enterprise Fund, thematic areas covered are background of the Women Enterprise Fund, the purpose of the Women Enterprise Fund, eligibility criteria for application, contract conditions and repayment period and methods. Trainings of women groups were conducted before funds disbursed to group individual bank accounts. Currently, 12,060 women have been trained among the 603 group beneficiaries, and a total of 54,600 women have been reached. In terms of sustainability, with support from the UN CDF, the Ministry conducted capacity strengthening on financial literacy targeting 100 staff of the Ministry and line directorates. The training of trainers was to ensure the Ministry is provided with the necessary capacity to enhance the operationalization of the fund. The Ministry is therefore determined to promote gender equity, equality, and the empowerment of women and girls for sustained socio-economic development. The Ministry also secured assistance from the Canary Islands, Spain, who sent in a consultant to train 2 WEF staff, 13 regional gender officers called Women Enterprise Support Staff, and 10 other staff of the line directives within the ministry. Furthermore, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare requested for the support from UNCDF for development and rollout of financial education and literacy campaign throughout the country. 2 campaigns had already been completed in all 53 constituencies, targeting 30,000 women. The expected results of this campaign is to create a platform of 100,000 women entrepreneurs linked with GSM company in the Gambia. This platform will serve as a window for exchange of market information and online for goods and services. Women Enterprise Fund staffing. According to the Women Enterprise Fund Act 2020, the Women Enterprise Fund should be an independent body with all the required human resources, but as at now, it consists of the following staff: the acting fund manager, assisted by the enterprise development officer, and regional agenda officers called support staff. Currently, the Human Enterprise Funds and Administrative Works are managed by a ministry staff who is acting as the fund manager, following the resignation of the then fund manager this year. The process of recruiting a new fund manager has advanced. After all the processes of filling the application forms at regional level and the selection of applicants by the regional committees, followed by web board recommendations, instructions are sent to the Central Bank of the Gambia to disburse the amount approved in the women's groups from the WEF accounts at the Central Bank. With regards to the repayment, some groups have started paying after a grace period of 6 months through the WEF loan account at the Central Bank of the Gambia, and some have even completed paying. However, some beneficiary groups expressed difficulties in the bank transactions in terms of getting credit advices upon payment. The Bankers Association was contacted to assist with the banks to provide WEF beneficiaries the credit advice slips, which will be used for reconciliation purposes. The WEF Board of Directors. The WEF Board consists of diverse stakeholders from various institutions and chaired by Fatudin Toure from the Central Bank of the Gambia. The board meets regularly to discuss the issues pertaining to the WEF Women Enterprise Fund. The board approves all WEF loan applications. WEF yearly budget is 10 million Gambian dollars for loans to women groups and 1 million as operating cost. Thank you very much.
Honourable Member.
Can I go ahead? Thank you. Honourable Speaker, can the Honourable Minister tell us what monitoring mechanisms do they put in place to guide the women groups to avoid mismanagement of the funds that are given to them?
Thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, the Human Enterprise Fund has trained the staff in the field as well as quite a good number of staff in the office. We did our own training through a consultancy, following which UNCDF also did a training, and a third training was provided by the Canary Islands in Spain. Capacity of staff have been built, and the staff conduct regular coaching and mentoring of the groups once the monies have been received and they started utilizing the funds. This is so that they don't use the funds for something else. And remember, before funds are disbursed to any group, they are trained in business management skills as well as entrepreneurship. Thank you very much.
In that case, can you please share with this August Assembly the success stories as far as this Women Enterprise Fund is concerned? Thank you.
Even though this was not part of the question sent to the office, but I can happily share with you some of the success stories. When we went on monitoring, myself, I went on monitoring. I went on monitoring twice in the year. You discover that some of the groups have done so well that some of the women are now, because we work through groups, and some of them have done so well, now the women, some women are operating as individual entrepreneurs. Some of these we've even documented. there are 2 groups in CRR North. From those groups, one woman is successful. She has her own poultry now. Another lady has small ruminants. In URR, 2 of the girls have their own salons now, which they are operating individually. There's a lady who is physically handicapped, who is physically disabled. Now, she says she used to beg in the streets. Because of the Women Enterprise Fund, now she has her own tailoring shop. There are groups which used to, which sell charcoal. 2 groups used to share a bag of charcoal. Now one woman is selling 3 bags of charcoal on her own. There's a group in Talinding. When they were given the loan, they did a survey, business survey in Talinding, and discovered that in Talinding, there are a lot of ceremonies taking place in Talinding, whether naming ceremonies or funerals. And people go around looking for cooking pots and plates for hire. So they spend the money to buy cooking pots and also plates for hire. And within 1 year, they had doubled the amount that was given to them as a loan. So these are the success stories. And because they are success stories, we also went around and documented the success stories. So then in July, we are going to New York for the VNR. So we chose to organize a side event to showcase the success of the Women Enterprise Fund. And at VNR, we showed the video, and I gave a description of the video. Because of that, more donors have become interested in the Women Enterprise Fund. I come from a donor community. When you start a new initiative, donors will sit down and watch you. If you succeed,
point of order.
Want to be part of the success story.
Point of order, Honourable Speaker. Point of order 43, subsection 3 clearly states that supplementary question, answers for supplementary questions should not be more than 2 minutes, and the Minister is going beyond.
Honourable Minister, please take note. Actually, I was going to tell you that your answers to any supplementary questions should not last more than 2 minutes. Noted. Can you please note? You can summarize the answer.
I think I was at the tail end of my response to say that more donors become interested in the Women Enterprise Fund. UNCDF has now given us $100,000 because of what we have showcased in New York. And the World Bank has also expressed interest. They sent in a team to discuss the Women Enterprise Fund to see how they can give more support. And this is all because of the success that we have registered, which we showcased in New York during the VNR. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Member for Bakau.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Minister, I have heard some groups being complained that they are being refused for such funds. What are the criteria that your ministry use to qualify such groups to benefit out of such funds?
Can you, even though this is not part of the question sent to us, can you please repeat the question? Can you please repeat the question? I'm saying that this is not the sort of question sent to us at the ministry, but I don't mind to answer. Please repeat the question.
I'm asking a question out of your response. You've indicated in your response that the groups that are benefited out of this fund, I'm asking the criteria that you use that qualifies such groups to benefit and not and disqualify other groups.
Thank you very much. The Women Enterprise Fund, we worked through a legislation that was adopted here in 2021. And it is used as the operational manual for the Women Enterprise Fund. Women's groups are the groups that those that we give funds to. Groups should be between 6 members to 200 members. and they should all live within the same community. They should be meeting regularly and making a contribution of however small, and they should have a bank account. The amount in the account is not relevant to us, but there should be a bank account because that's where the funds are transferred. And the group should also be registered. This is the criteria for the enterprise fund. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Member for Kiang West.
Honourable Minister, has this Women Enterprise Fund helped the women who are borrowing from microfinance institutions from the heavy interest that is levied on them? From 2021, from the adoption of it to date, how many women groups who have been saved from borrowing from microfinance institutions who are levying high interest on them, during borrowing? Thank you very much.
Yes, I think this question is in relation to question number 2. So in response to question number 2, I'm sure I'll be able to answer your question. Thank you so much.
Nominated member Fatou K. Jawara.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I think Honourable Member for Bakau has touched part of my question. I wanted to ask the Honourable Minister, going by your answer provided, what are the criteria for the issuance of this Women Enterprise Fund, and who are the caliber of people that are qualified? But I think it's already been raised by the member for Bakau.
Thank you. Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Honourable Minister, this enterprise fund, does it cover the entire constituency, or you specified within the greater Banjul area? Or the constituencies that want to involve into it, how can they involve into it in the rural area specifically?
Thank you very much. The Women Enterprise Fund, as the name goes, is for all women in the Gambia. And even for your constituency, women have benefited. And the criteria are already explained earlier. Thank you very much.
Member for Janjambure.
Honourable Minister, in your responses, you did mention that over 53 or about 53 constituencies actually benefited from this fund. Will it be possible for you to share a list of the groups that have benefited from this fund to the Assembly, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much. There is a question in which this was asked, and the list is attached.
Thank you. Question number 0174 of 2022 by the member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Women's Affairs, Gender, Children and Social Welfare update this August Assembly on the amount of loans disbursed to women groups and individual entrepreneurs, as well as provide the list of beneficiaries since the creation of the ministry? Thank you very much.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Amount of funds disbursed as loans. Disbursement of funds. The disbursement of funds started in December 2020 with few selected groups based on the set criteria from the regions. Currently, the table below shows the number of group beneficiaries in each region and amounts disbursed per region as at November 2022. I have a table in front of me. BANJUL, 52 groups, and the amount is $5,250,000. West Coast region, 54 groups. The amount disbursed as of November is $5,760,000. Lower River region, 51 groups. The amount disbursed is $4,640,000. North Bank region, 51 groups, $5,075,000. Central River region, 49 groups, $6,100,000. Upper River region, 49 groups, $4,070,000. Kanishi Municipal Council, 58 groups, $6,275,000. Grand total, 364 groups, a total of $37,170,000 is disbursed as of November of this year. The repayment balance as of September is $5,655,539.99. Note, list of beneficiaries since the creation of WEF is attached. Thank you very much.
Honourable Member thank you. You are satisfied. The member for Sanementreng.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, does the Minister have anything in plan by increasing the amount of loans given to these women, particularly in 2023? Thank you.
Yes. In fact, loans disbursed in December, amounts have been increased because we got support from the Central Bank of the Gambia. Before, we used to have only $10 million annually. But because the Women Enterprise Fund is the flagship project of the government of the Gambia, the President intervened, and Central Bank has given us $60 million Gambian for disbursement. And also in December, we at CDF, because of the side event we had in New York, they too have given us $100,000. So December, disbursement made in December, amounts had increased, and this will further increase in 2003. Thank you.
Member for Kiang West.
Honourable Minister, what is the recovery period of these loans given to women, and has any group yet defaulted in this recovery? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The recovery is 12 months. But of those 12 months, the women groups are given a 6-month grace period, meaning for 6 months, they are not going to pay anything. But in the following 6 months, they will start paying and it is complete. So when the checks are handed over, the women's group also sign a contract, in which contract the amount to be paid per month is indicated. Yes, groups have defaulted. I don't know whether BANJUL is here. We have quite a good number of groups in BANJUL which have defaulted. And also the same thing goes for KMC. In fact, this is the reason why, during this presidential tour, we didn't hand over any checks in KMC, nor in BANJUL. Those in the rural areas have done wonderfully well in terms of payment. Based on my previous experience in managing entrepreneurship projects, I said to my team, BANJUL and KMC, the checks are ready, but I said to my team, we're not going to hand over, and we're not going to put any money into their accounts until they complete paying. So now we are working with BANJUL and KMC for them to pay. When they finish paying, then we put the money into their accounts and hand over the checks. Thank you very much.
Member for Josuang.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I had many people clapping because of KMC and BANJUL. But from KMC also, Honourable Minister, what are your plans for other groups in KMC that are not already, that are never benefited from this this loan, and the percentage also attached to the debt, to the loans?
Thank you very much. The percentage is 5%, and it's calculated on the principal ones. There are a lot of groups which have not benefited, and the applications are lying at the mayor's offices and also the governor's offices. But you have to remember, it's a revolving loan. You pay and then we give to others. KMC, I think only 3 groups have finished paying, and the same thing, BANJUL 5 groups have finished paying. But the point is, we're going to continue giving out loans when women are not paying back. And we want to set an example to others. This is why I said to my team, let's hold on to their checks until they pay. By now, all the groups in KMC should have finished paying, and the same goes for BANJUL. So until they complete paying, I'm sorry, we're not going to give out any funds.
Member for Brikama North and Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Minister. In your response in trying to reach to the number of beneficiaries per region, how did you drive to enriching to this number of beneficiaries per region in relation to the population and size of the region, taking into consideration a region of BANJUL 52 compared to a much bigger region of West Coast 51? How do you drive to in trying to do this proportional and equitable distribution?
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Since the fund is for all women in the Gambia, we didn't take into consideration the size of a region. We'll advise the governors and the mayors to send to us a particular number which are qualified, and this will be assessed, further assessed by the board before the funds are disbursed. We didn't take into consideration the size, since it is for women in the Gambia, and we want to treat everybody fairly. But interestingly, the rural groups are better in terms of payment than those in the urban area. And it's a big shame because we had thought that women in the urban area should have known better. But interestingly, those in the rural areas seem to be knowing better, and they've done better. Thank you.
That is interesting. Honourable Member for Brikama North and Minority Leader, that's interesting. I think honourable members should talk to their constituents. Thank you. Now, the member for Same.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. My question is a little bit similar to that of Minority Leader. Looking at CRR North 7 consequences, I just want to know, particularly Same, how many women groups benefited from this?
Thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, I wish this was sent to me earlier, or I'm able to tell you how many groups benefited. But you may be interested to know that of those who benefited, 2 women who did wonderfully well are from CRR North. The lady who is in poultry and the one in animal husbandry, small ruminants, they are all from CRR North. Although I may not be able to tell you whether it's Same or another district. But then, now that I've got this question, I'll make sure that I do my homework to be able to know which district this will come from, yes. It may be Upper Salum, yes, it's possible.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Question number 0175 of 2022 by the member for Bundung Kakunda.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I think with the response from the Minister already, my question is about for her to inform the August body if the Ministry has a plan for the continuation of the Women Enterprise Fund, which I know already based on her response. But I must... Huh? No, no.
Honourable members, please allow him to continue. I think...
Yes. Then let me just go direct to the question, then I can give you supplementary. But I must thank you for the partnership because Bundung, we are benefited. And on behalf of those women, I thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister of Women Affairs, Gender, Children and Social Welfare inform this August Assembly if the Ministry has a plan for the continuation of the Women Enterprise Fund? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, yes, the Women Enterprise Fund is going to continue and our plans are for us to create a bank for women. The enterprise fund is only the beginning. Our plans are to create a bank for women, and now that donors are showing interest into our work and they are giving us more grants, I'm sure in the very short near future, we'll be able to pay what the central bank requires so we can create a bank for the women of the Gambia. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, because based on the information I'm hearing from members here, most of them is like they were not involved in the whole process. But the reason why I'm saying this, I was a councillor and I was benefited, definitely. So what is going to be the role of National Assembly members as far as this project is concerned? Thank you.
I think we'll have to engage the National Assembly members so that they help us to talk to the groups so they can be paying. Interestingly, I think in your area, 3 or 4 groups have benefited. And they are doing very well. I think 2 have completed. Another 2 are about to complete the payment. And this is because you were involved. Yes, so because we involve you, I think we should also do the same, involve all the other National Assembly members, because what we are doing, we are involving our lady councillors, but I don't think that is adequate. Henceforth, we'll now involve National Assembly members, so they can talk to their women's groups, so that they can pay for other women also to have access. Because right now, the money is available, but we are scared to give to them, because the payment, we are not very happy with the payment rate. So once we are satisfied with the payment rate, the funds are available. We give out the funds. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honourable Speaker, I wanted to ask the Honourable Minister about the grace period interest and challenges, which is already adequately answered. But like, with the commitment from the rural community, with the rural women, are you thinking of increasing their loan scheme? Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Thank you.
Yes, we are going to increase. In fact, this year we increased their loan scheme already because we are satisfied. The list that we have at the moment, which has not been disbursed, we've increased the loan scheme, and we've also agreed that for those groups which have paid early, we'll give them more funds, because what we want is for each woman in the group to be able to stand on their own. And those women which have done well, which are part of the documentary that we have made, we give them more funds so that they can be stronger. At the end of the day, we want every woman to be able to stand on her own as a successful entrepreneur. Thank you.
Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister.
Sorry, Banjul, you are not paying, so you... sorry.
No. Just allow me to talk, please. Don't distract me, please. Honourable Minister, what do you intend to do with the women groups that have defaulted in terms of repaying the loan that was given to them?
Thank you very much. I called a meeting in my office, and some of the groups, I called the group presidents on the phone to express our concern. But the groups are so many, I don't think I can do that for all the groups. So what we've chosen to do now is to write to all of them, because each group was guaranteed by 3 members of the executive of the group. So we are going to do the letters before the end of this week to remind them that they need to pay, and we give a timeline, after which the letter will indicate that they'll be summoned to court. Thank you.
Member for Kiang West.
Honourable Minister, for sustainability purpose, where the question is really concerned about the continuity of the Women Enterprise Fund. And are you aware that some women groups are complaining that they are not being told every detail of the funds? On that, the time that they are questioned to pay these monies, they are not prepared to pay the monies at the point in time, and they had arguments with the governor's office and other agencies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. These are the groups which are not willing to pay the money, because every group signs a contract, and in the contract it's clearly stipulated when you should start paying and how much you should pay. And these contracts are signed by the group presidents. We have copies of the contract, and the group members also have a copy of the contract. So there's no group member who can come now to tell us that they don't understand. Everything's clarified to them at the training, and also our staff will work closely with them. I mentioned this earlier. Staff provide coaching and mentorship to the groups. So if they have any doubts, they could ask the staff members. But one thing is for certain, there's not a single group member who doesn't know how these funds operate. Thank you.
Member for Jos Wang.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, as you rightly mentioned that you have issues with payments, are you planning to come up with an order, strategy, sort of a collateral to attach it to this loan, at least to make people to be serious on their payments?
Thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, one of the reasons why the Women Enterprise Fund was created is because SMEs, the small and micro entrepreneurs, have problems in accessing finance. They can't go to the banks because the banks ask for collateral. We all know when you ask for collateral, we know the meaning. A title deed. How many women own a compound, let alone have a title deed? This is one of the reasons. And also the banks charge very high interest. This is one of the reasons why we have come up with the Women Enterprise Fund. And then we promote group lending. So women don't have to provide a collateral, but the group members should serve as an insurance to guarantee members of the group. Thank you very much. If you start asking for collateral, not many women will be able to access the funds. Thank you.
Group members.
And for BANJUL,
Member for
4 out of the 48 have completed paying, only 4. But there's a group which after 1 year, they have paid only $5,000. So it's a pity. We have to work with you closely. Yeah.
Member for Sabak Sanja.
But she was talking to me.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I think my question has been answered.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, for those answers provided to this
Honourable Speaker.
Assembly. And please, Honourable Minister, I want to thank you sincerely for those answers provided to the oral questions. I want to thank honourable members for those questions and all those who also asked supplementary questions. Now the question is, be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Thursday, 15 December 2022 at 10 a.m. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. This Assembly now stand adjourned until Thursday, 15 December 2022 at 10 a.m. prompt.